Java is an object-oriented programming language. As we've seen in the past few chapters, we use the paradigm of objects to represent a concept and to hold state and behavior. There are four major principles of object-oriented programming: encapsulation, which we learned about in Chapter 6, inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction. In this chapter, we will focus solely on inheritance. Inheritance is where one class becomes an extension of another class, therefore inheriting the members of that class. There are two parties involved in an inheritance: a parent and a child. The parent is known as the superclass, or sometimes also referred to as the parent class or base class. The child is known as the subclass, or sometimes referred to as the child class or the derived class. When an inheritance relationship is created between these two classes, then the child class inherits the members of the parent class. This allows classes to reuse data that already exists within other classes. Subclasses should be a more specialized form of the superclass that they inherit from. Let's look at an example where we have a class called person. This class can contain fields for name, age, and gender. If we later decided to create an employee class, then the employee would also need a name, age, and gender. Instead of defining all of that all over again, we could have the employee class inherit from the person class. When this happens, then the employee class now has the members of the person class, and the programmer can focus on only defining things that are specific to the employee class. An inheritance relationship is known as a is-a relationship. An employee is a person. And being a subclass, it's a specialized type of person. Let's demonstrate inheritance with code. I'm going to create a new class in a Chapter 9 package. We'll call this person. And let's say that a person has a name, an age, and a gender. Now let's make getter and setter methods for each of these. A little trick, we can right click and we can use this generate. And we can say generate getter and setter methods. And I'm going to select all three. And then now we have these created. I'm just going to move these to the top so I have all my fields together. And voila. So this is our person class. Now let's create the employee class, which will inherit from person. To inherit from another class, within the subclass's header, you can use the keyword extends. Extends forms an inheritance relationship. After extends, you name the class that you want to inherit from. So we're inherited from the person class. That's all it takes to create an inheritance relationship. With this, now the employee class now has access to all of these methods. In addition to what's inherited, the employee class can have additional things that are specific to an employee. So as the programmer, now I don't have to worry about setting the name or the age or the gender. I can focus on things specific to employees, such as maybe the employee ID and the employee's title. Wonderful. So now we have the person class, which is serving as the superclass, and the employee class, which is serving as the subclass. There's nothing that I need to do to the person class to make this inheritance relationship. That is only done in the subclass with this keyword extends. Now let's see this in action. I'm going to open this inheritance tester class that I have. Let's first just create a person. And let's say person dot. Notice what's available to a person object. All of the methods that we defined in that person class for getting and setting the name, age, and gender. Now, if I create an employee object, however, if I say employee dot, now not only do I get the getter and setter methods for name, age, and gender that existed in the person class, but now I also get the new methods that were defined in the employee class, such as the getters and setters for employee ID and title. So that is inheritance. Even though I did not specify a set name method or get age method in the employee class, I have access to it because it was inherited from the person.